So I didn't travel anywhere in 2025, just Ontario, Canada, which I'd always thought of as kind of boring, photographically. But in 2025, I made some of my favorite images ever because I took a completely different approach to my photography. And it might make you look at the place that you live in a little bit differently too. Now, here's the problem. I love travel photography. The last few years, I've spent time in Japan, the Canadian Rockies, New York City, places that are rich with visuals to photograph, where you can point a camera almost anywhere and see something interesting. And when you're surrounded by that kind of environment, it's a little bit easier. The location does some of the heavy lifting. Not to downplay those images, they still take a lot of effort, but I definitely feel the difference. But I still wanted to stay creatively fulfilled despite not being able to travel. So I had to figure out, how do I do that in Southern Ontario? The first thing I had to do was research, because honestly, I didn't know Ontario as well as I could have. I've lived here my whole life, but I never really looked at it as a place to photograph outside the main tourist hubs and whatever was local to me. It's also massive, like 1,000,000 square kilometers massive. So I started looking around. Port towns, historical villages, places I could drive to on a weekend. And if I saw anything even remotely interesting on Google Images, I'd add it to a list on maps. The very first place I decided to visit when I started this whole thing was Port Rowan. I'd seen these lines of boathouses on Google Images and thought they'd make some cool landscape photos. I had planned to arrive for sunset. I got there just a couple hours before, but what I didn't realize, because I didn't do enough research, was that the boathouses and lake faced east while the sun sets in the west. So the light was coming from the complete wrong direction. I wanted the sun setting over the lake, but it was coming from behind the town. It was a really clear summer day, super bright sun, which was not the right call at all for this location. The first hour was rough. Extremely harsh shadows and nothing was working. I almost left early, but I decided to stick it out. I drove 2 hours to get here. I should at least stay through sunset. And thankfully, once the sun got low enough that it was less direct, some frames started coming together. Sunset and blue hour were better, but the photos weren't great. I'll probably have to revisit on a cloudy day or in the rain or snow. There's a lot that I'd change on a second trip. And that's one of the benefits I hadn't realized. There's definitely less pressure of, I need to get this now because I can return easily. A lot of these places are 3 to 5 hours round trip of driving, which does take effort, but they're a lot easier and less expensive than a half-day flight. So I started planning trips specifically around when the light or conditions were going to be interesting. That meant visiting places outside the hours I'd normally see them in. Sunrise, sunset, blue hour, in the fog, rain, or high winds. Because we see places in the same midday light all the time, and that's when things blend together and start to become boring. I knew that to make this work, I'd have to be more intentional about everything within my control. If the conditions weren't right, the photos were kind of just plain, so I had to wait for it or I had to come back at a different time. It also meant I had to be really sharp with my compositions because a field or a road or a beach on an open lake, not a tropical one on the ocean, only looks interesting if the frame itself is interesting. Because a lot of these places were flatter, less dynamic than the Rockies, for example, I had to create that dynamic feel with composition. One of the first places I found was this small town on Lake Huron called Kincardine. It didn't look like anything too crazy, but there was this hillside lighthouse that caught my eye. And I hadn't been to the Lake Huron area in years, so I thought, it's worth a shot. I got there just in time for sunset on a perfectly clear day, and the drifting wildfire smoke that happens in the summer these days turned the sunset a vibrant red. And what I found was way more than I expected. The lighthouse itself, but also the neighborhood walking toward it. 2 beautiful beach areas, the marina, a pier you could watch the sunset from. Every spot had something interesting, and the light kept changing. I ended up staying well past sunset into blue hour and night, photographing all the little details I could find. I honestly couldn't stop photographing. I eventually had to say, okay, this is enough because I need to get back on the road in the dark. That was the first time Ontario stopped feeling boring. And it was the first time I realized, as cliche as it sounds, maybe the problem wasn't the place, but how I was approaching it. I also spent some time getting better at dealing with overcast days, which I used to avoid because they felt kind of plain. So I learned to focus more on relationships, contrasting colors, light against dark, dark against light, minimal against texture, and vice versa. This let me create that separation and interest I wanted without relying on the light to do it for me. All these things also forced me to think more about what the image was saying. What's the mood? What do I want someone to feel when they look at it? Because without an impressive location, all I had was composition, light, and mood. And this year forced me to get better at those things in ways that traveling never did. Again, not to downplay my past work. I've just become more aware of all these things, sharpened my senses, if you will. There was this moment shooting the country roads where it really clicked. I've driven through similar roads my whole life and always thought, why can't we have mountains? I do still wish we had mountains, but making these images of the farms, the open fields, the colors at sunset gave me a new appreciation for these kinds of everyday scenes. These are some of my favorite photos I made in 2025. Not because Ontario suddenly became interesting, but because I learned to see it differently. And here's what I realized through all of this. What I actually value in photography is mood, atmosphere, feeling, environmental storytelling, and you can create that anywhere with the right approach to light, color, composition, timing, and weather, things that are a little more within your control as a photographer. So wherever I travel next, I'll probably approach it differently. I'll bring these new compositional skills, I'll plan around the light and weather better, and get out there even when it's hard or a long day. I used to think that I needed locations that were extremely different from my regular surroundings to make better images, but I've learned if I focus more on the things I can change, I can make better images anywhere. I'm still gonna travel, I'm still gonna visit new places, but with the right approach, I can stay creatively fulfilled between those trips. Looking back on 2025 now, the constraint didn't limit me, it sharpened my skills. I didn't travel at all last year, and I think I got better because of it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Peace.